Soundstripe.
Well, good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to My Spouse is My Best Friend. I'm your co-host, Nicole.
And I'm Dr. Jason Green.
And today we want to talk about another love language. So far we've talked about words of affirmation, we've talked about physical touch, and And today we're going to talk about acts of service in a marriage. And so, what is the simplest way to tell your spouse, I love you?
Without saying it.
Without saying it.
Because it's easy to say, I love you, baby. I love you, baby. But words come with actions. So we're going to talk about acts of service today, and that's kind of what we're going to dive into today. So, quick story today. We'll talk about, some ways that we show our acts of service. And one example for me is, this week I've been really sick for about 5 days. And my wife knows that when I'm sick, I don't like to be bothered. So she knows that. So, but what she did was every time I looked, she was just staring or looking or making sure that I have anything. She would go in another room and just come visit every once in a while and say, hey, are you good? You need some water. She wasn't, all over me and all that kind of stuff because I don't like that. I like to be left alone when I'm sick. But that showed me that she loved me because she was attentive. She was staring. She didn't say anything. But she was just making sure that I was all right, making sure that, I was breathing because I was really, really sick. But that really just, showed me that she cared and she loved me. I was sick for 5 days, and then after I felt better, she came in and jumped my bones. But but that showed me. I mean, that was an act of service, and it showed me that she cared and she was intentional about it.
Yes, yeah. And so, exactly what is acts of service? And so, it's a unburdening, unloading and helping your spouse. And so, for example, doing the dishes without being asked, running errands. If your spouse doesn't like doing the laundry, doing the laundry because you know that's something that they don't like. And so the emphasis on acts of service is being intentional. So I was intentionally making sure that my husband was well this week, but I was respecting his boundaries because I know that he likes to be left alone. Me, I just want to be doled on when I'm sick. Like, I want some chicken noodle soup. I want some crackers.
You might as well get a bell.
I want some red Gatorade, whatever flavor that is. I want to be doled on, but for him, he's just a total opposite. Just leave him alone, let him sleep, go through whatever he's going through, and then at the end, climb on top of him.
And so, why does that matter? I mean, it builds trust, right?
It does.
I know that somebody's there for me. I'm not alone in those times. It shows that I'm being listened to, that you care, that you have my back, that you're my rib. And so that's why it matters. It also builds teamwork. So, I mean, when one person is, overwhelmed with something and you come in and without being asked, just, take up some kind of slack. It kind of builds that teamwork to know that, hey, I got your back. And that, we all don't have this. Remember we talked about this 50-50 thing about 2 weeks ago, that marriage is not a 50-50. Sometimes it's going to be 7-30. Sometimes it's going to be 80-20.
Yeah.
So this builds that kind of teamwork to make 100% because y'all are 100%.
Yep. And it also helps you to reduce stress. There's nothing like coming home to a stressed out spouse and just trying to figure out what's for dinner, where we're going, what the kids doing, what doctor's appointment you need to make. And so again, just unburdening that your spouse comes a long way.
Yes. And also, it's Christ-like love, right? I mean, I'm hoping most of y'all are serving in your church or serving others. I mean, that's one thing that God says in the Bible is to serve others. That's what he did. He was washing people's feet. He's Jesus. If you're serving in your church and you're serving others, why not serve your spouse? Because, my main thing I always say, my wife is my church. And that's written, black and white. And so why not do that in your marriage?
And so some practical ways to show, again, how to showed that love language, that acts of service, is to ask, what do you need help with today? Or you know what your spouse needs today. And so instead of asking, maybe just being intentional about doing it.
I mean, prime example, our pastor and our first lady, well, one thing that stands out, they've been married for, I don't know,
30 plus years.
30 plus years. But we've been to a lot of events with them. And his wife, Antoinette Holiday, she pays attention to his every move. If he forgets his phone, she goes picks it up. If he sees that he's struggling with something or even missing something, she makes sure that she takes care of it. I mean, he could have a smudge on his eyeglasses, and she'll go get a tissue, just wipe it off. Without it, she just really pays attention to him and really takes care. And him too. She hates to drive to go get her hair done. So every Friday he drives way to Dallas. That's a long way for people who don't know from where they live, to take her to get her hair done because she knows you don't like that. And then sits and waits. But it's just stuff like that that just taking the burden off of him and taking care of her.
Yeah. So again, bringing your spouse some water, cooking dinner for them, filling up the gas tank. Fellas, that's big with us. We don't like going to the gas station to fill up. True, that's the time that we spend cleaning out our cars, but we really, truly don't like to go to the gas station to fill up our tanks.
Buy my Tesla or get an electric car. Anywho. But really listening to your wife is an act of service as well. I mean, there's times where we'll be talking in conversation and I'm listening to her, and like she might say, I have a craving for an almond joy one day, or you know what, I was thinking about this place and I want to go there one time. And I don't say anything, I don't respond, but what I do is one day I might just bring home an almond joy with a card, or I might just plan a date night for the place that she mentioned a week ago, to let her know that I was listening to her, I was being intentional, and I'm making sure that her needs are met.
Oh, that's true. I'm still eating almond joys.
So, in short, acts of service is really, showing love without saying it.
Especially if that's your spouse's love language. So
absolutely,
again, if acts of service is your spouse's love language, hit it hard, because that brings you a lot of brownie points. So this week, I challenge you to, if you don't know your spouse's love language, go online, Gary Chapman love language, take the quiz, have her or him take the quiz, and then choose one act of service and see what happens in the next 24 hours.
So again, thank you for joining us. Make sure you do whatever to make your wife happy. Happy life. I don't know. Happy spouse. Happy wife. Happy life. And what's the other one? Remember, just came up with it on the other side. I can't remember what it was.
I don't know.
Anyways, let that one stick. But like and subscribe. Yep. Go check out our website, myspouseandmybestfriend.com. We have a lot of good content on there. We have a lot of good merchandise on.
Again, go to our website. We have previous podcast sessions on there. So if you missed out, if you missed physical touch, if you missed words of affirmation, that's on there. And then also sign up for the newsletter to get notified of special events or things that we have going on. Be the first to know and join our Lovebird community.
All right. See y'all later. Thank you for joining us.
Bye.
Soundstripe.